Hi, welcome to Clutter Bravado.
Yes, and it's the energy. It's not just about the stuff.
So we should probably just get into it, right?
Let's go.
Good morning, Laurent.
Good morning, Elyse.
How are you?
Do I have to be honest?
You have to be honest.
I'm rickety.
Rickety. Ah, little injured.
A little injured. Back gave out, so it's frustrating.
Uh-huh.
I'm going to take it one day at a time and hopefully feel better in the next month or so.
Hopefully. I mean, maybe it'll be helpful. Maybe I could do some yoga with you. Maybe we could try that.
Maybe we should try that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
See if that'll help.
Yes.
Oh, man.
I know.
That's like the worst feeling when you feel a little bit injured and you're like waiting for something to heal and you just have to be patient.
I just can't force it there. I mean, it's been a week now and it's getting better maybe. I don't think so. Yeah, no.
Oh.
Whatever. It's a little rough around the edges.
Oh, I understand. I mean, I've been there before, but everything will heal in time.
Exactly.
But with time, we should probably address the coming month. So we have an announcement to make. We will be going on a holiday hiatus. So for the month of December, we're putting this episode out. And then after that, we're going to be dark until January. Now, if you are an avid listener of the podcast, this is a perfect time to go back and listen to the episodes that you haven't heard yet. We have a few episodes that we put out back to back so quickly that I feel like I want people to have some time to be able to catch up and to listen to all of our interviews and really dig into all of our guests, because we've had some incredible ones in the past couple months. And yeah, we'll be posting on Instagram still, like our reels of like some past episodes that maybe we hadn't posted yet that we've been holding on to. So that'll be really fun. But you will then have a few weeks to just chill.
Just chill.
Yeah.
Yes, I do have. I mean, it's the month of December, so there's a lot of projects that need to be finished, so it'll be a good thing.
Yes.
You know, you are busy this month.
I am busy this month and also in January.
And also in January.
So cool, fun announcement. When it rains, it pours. I think it was the last episode or a couple episodes ago that I announced that I had booked a short film, and I have booked 3, maybe 4 other jobs since then, which is so fun. And it's exactly where I want to be. And it's what I want to be doing. But also because of that, I definitely need to take some time to really hone in and make sure that I'm prepared for those.
Prepared and ready to go.
Yeah. Yeah. But I will say, like, I want to do a quick plug for Graham Shields Studio. We've been taking classes there for a few months now.
I don't know.
A couple of months. I will say that I love my classes there. I love training there, and it helps to keep me really sharp. And I think just going back and taking classes like that, plus the second draft, which we talk a lot about on here, those 2 resources have been so helpful for me. And it's really just got me energized again about acting, and I love it. And it's so fun.
And you're really good at it.
Thank you. And so yeah, I'm going to be a little bit busy for the next couple of months, but I this is exactly the kind of busy that I want to be. So I'm feeling really aligned in that. It's for a little while there, I was feeling a little bit lost or a little sluggish around like my creativity. And I feel like once I opened this door, all of that has been rushing back. So it's been really fun. And yeah, it's really tapping into like that thing that I love doing. Like I love performing. I love it so much. And being able to do it again. And you've been so supportive of it, and I really appreciate that. You've been like, just such a cheerleader for me.
You're very good at it. I am. I'm excited for, you've just restarted, and you have 4 projects coming. So
yes.
And I think that's where you belong.
Thank thank you. Aw, thank you. That's really sweet. But also this podcast is so, so, so important to me. So when we come back in January, we'll be coming back with a bang. I'm so pumped about all the stuff. Like we have some really cool guests that are going to be coming up. And we will be, again, posting through the month of December on our Instagram and probably some shorts and stuff on YouTube as well. But keep an eye out in January for when we come back. It's going to be pretty rad.
I'm excited, and I think that our podcast, we did what, we're 50
some high 50s.
High 50s. And it's been an incredible experience. So I can't wait for 2026.
Yeah. 2026.
I know, mixing up. Yeah,
Wow.
Trust me. So it'll be really fun, and it's been such an incredible experience to doing it with you. So
Yeah. Oh, thank you.
yeah, and having a lot of people that I've known for a long time, that I've discovered new aspects of, and so it'll be fun.
Speaking of, though, our guest today is someone that we met together actually at Palm Springs Modernism last year, and I adore her. So our guest today is Summer Jensen of Hawk & Co. And Summer invited us to that incredible party, like towards the end of the summer, to celebrate her studio, her new studio in Laguna Beach. And we talk a little bit about it in the interview too, like how important it is to bring people together. And that's something we've had the opportunity to do on this show. And I think that Summer really aligns with that, like how important it is for you to have real relationships with the other people in the industry. And even outside of the industry as well, the more you can bring people together, like there's like, what bad can come from that,
And she's such a supporter of the community, and an amazing personality.
Yeah. And her story is amazing.
I know.
Like she's been all over the world, and she pulls so much inspiration from her culture and from tradition, and just the things that she pays attention to. It's so unique for designers. I feel like we've had a lot of different perspectives on the show, and I really think that hers stands out. It really stood out to me. She's a really, really special person. And yeah, I loved getting to know her, and I can't wait to spend more time with her too. Like she's so cool.
I know that's, it's going to be a fun dinner.
Definitely. Well, without any further ado, should we get to it?
Let's go.
Hi, this is Elyse from Clutter Bravado podcast. Clutter Bravado is an independent podcast, and as any independent artist will tell you, getting off the ground is a little challenging. If you like what you're hearing, please like, comment, share, subscribe, support us in any way that you can on the platform where you're listening. And follow us on Instagram at Clutter Bravado for exclusive clips, events, and giveaways. We quite literally could not do this without your continued support. So from the bottom of our hearts, thank you so much for listening. Tell your friends, and please follow and subscribe so that you can be the first to have access to our latest episodes. Now, back to the show. Welcome to Clutter Bravado. We are here with Summer Jensen of Hawk & Co. I'm so happy to have you here.
Thank you. I feel like it's been a long time coming.
It really has been. It really has.
Yeah.
We talked already a little bit about the incredible time that we had celebrating your is it your new location?
Yeah, new location in Laguna Beach.
In Laguna Beach. That was such a spectacular experience.
Thank
It was
you.
so fun. And it was wonderful to get to know you, and your family was there. And
yeah. I kind of said when we first started planning the party, I don't want a corporate party.
Yeah.
I wanted it to feel like people were coming into my family, and the people that were there, it was supposed to be a celebration really for them. So I didn't want people networking. It wasn't some place to like come and try to find the next contact. It was a place to come and try to find friends.
Yeah.
Right. And it was really important to me that feeling of camaraderie was there, and of just sharing great people, I feel like this world that's what we need, So
Yeah, and you really, really achieved that. There are some
Thank you.
people that we met there that actually have been like longtime friends of mine, which is really cool. And it was just really nice to connect with people and to, you know, again, not in that like sort of stuffy, like very professional way, but getting
Right.
to know them as they are.
Absolutely. We hung out in
yeah.
bathing suits. That's not
I
something
know.
you can say very much. Right? And even for myself, I was like, wait, so I'm planning a party that I have to be in my bathing suit in front of my other colleagues. Is this going to go well?
It was probably the highlight. Like just,
I know, same.
yeah,
I
the
thought
beach
so
was
too.
wonderful.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
wonderful. So I want to talk to you about your life is fascinating and beautiful and interesting. So
thank
you were born and raised in Hawaii.
Uh-huh. Yes,
Yeah. Which island?
Oahu.
Oahu.
Yeah.
And then, stop me if I'm wrong, you went to school there and then you also went to San Francisco. Was that like a quick, like sort of you went directly to San Francisco? Or did
I
you?
went to school all the way up till I was in college
Okay.
in Hawaii, and
Yeah.
then I went to school in San Francisco,
Okay.
and then kind of, my father was an entertainer, and he was one of the first headliners at the Sahara Hotel in Las Vegas when it first opened. He ran with the Rat Pack. You know, he opened for the Doors. He opened for Jimi Hendrix. Like, my dad was he was this incredible larger than life performer. So on the side, I was always the little girl that put on the same costumes as his dancers. And so it was like little Summer in the corner, like dancing hula and like doing Copacabana and like all kinds of things. So it was, so I had always danced my entire life. And so that was actually, I think, my first love. But after, after college, I was like, okay, I'm going to travel the world, and I really want to just experience everything that I can. So I started traveling and dancing. I lived for a little while in Tokyo, and then I traveled all throughout Europe and kind of did a lot of tours through Asia and things like that. So I got a lot of really cultural, very kind of crazy experiences by the time I was in my early 20s.
It was fascinating because it's still your love, because you during the party you had an amazing group of dancers,
Yeah.
and you were itching to just jump in there.
And it was lovely to see you dance
and
as
it was
well.
lovely to see you dance.
Thank you.
And we
Thank you.
met a couple of your friends we know that knows you from Tokyo, from the dance.
Right, exactly.
It was fun to discover that part.
Yeah, there were so many people there that were from different parts of my life, so I think that it was really special that even the people from Hawaii came over, and like clients from all over the U.S. were there, and it just made me feel very appreciated for the person that I am versus the work that I do, which is also something that I think in our industry maybe isn't always touched upon, is that like, who we are as people really makes a difference in the relationships that we have, in the business contacts, and how we help each other through this process. So this process called life.
Right.
Yeah, that's something that we talk about a lot on the show, which is the importance of having a really strong community and building personal relationships with people. Especially in interior design, it's such an intimate relationship between you and your clients.
Right.
You are in their home. You are creating an environment that they are going to live in for long after you've finished your project. So how do you approach working with clients? When you first get started, you first meet someone, is there do you have a method that you go through each time of like how to get to know them?
Yeah, I think, as an early designer, I think that you are really committed to trying to find, when we talk about concept, right, and when we talk about schematic design, what we're really talking about is answers and solutions to people's problems and the way that they live, right? So a lot of it is about focusing on them and really trying to understand what is it that they want to express about themselves? What is it about them that they need to feel in their home? Or what is it about this home that needs to be solved, right? Sometimes when people come to you, it's not necessarily always with a clear objective, but it's about you trying to understand through their process and through kind of peeling back the layers what it is that makes them tick, and that's the process I really enjoy too.
Yeah.
I was in commercial design for a long time before I switched to residential. So I think that was the component that I was missing, was the personal relationship in commercial. A lot of times it's down to dollars and cents. How does this equate? Where's the ROI in this design feature, right? But in residential design, it's more about how people feel. It's about experience within their own personal space. And I think that that's something really beautiful to actually understand that you're affecting them with every single design feature that you put in. So I think it's a really beautiful relationship.
Yeah. Do you tend to work on more like remodels or new builds, or is it kind of a split of both?
I think right now it's actually more remodels than new builds, but typically in the past it's always been single family ground up.
Okay.
I think that just the way that my mind works, you know, I'm a very technical designer. I love to draw. I love to detail.
Oh, wow.
I still actually draw every single one of my sets from start to finish. So where we were talking about maybe being old school, you know, this is my this is my way of being old school. Is that like I know the house from front to back, every single corner before the contractor actually receives the drawings, and it's my way of being able to maybe jog my memory sometimes. But it's also a way for me to be able to really understand what the essence of the design is, because I feel like it's in the details where simplicity happens, where complexity happens, right? It's the overlay of line on top of mass, on top of shadow, on top of light, right? So like all of these things really come into play to really be able to kind of know that the product I'm putting out is something that I feel is holistic, you know, is beautiful.
And as far as it's funny because you're talking about sets, and is the fact that you were that you're an artist influences the way you see the space?
I think so. I mean, I would say so, but I also think that it's also allowed me to explore not being status quo, right? The ability to see yourself as the artist is breaking boundaries, I think, is something that gives you the freedom to not follow the traditional path, right? So like for me, I mean, I was 13 and 14 years old and I was tattooed. I went to the same school. I went to the same school that Obama went to. Okay. So for a 13-year-old to come in with like pierced eyebrows and pink hair and tattoos, much less the fact that I was also a pastor's daughter. So that kind of sets up the whole conversation.
Yeah.
But so it was kind of this thing where, you know, I was never afraid to have a different voice. And I think that's something super cool to kind of, you know, that as we all are striving to, in this world, to see who we are, is that we can also kind of perpetuate that the differences between us are so beautiful, you know?
Right.
So.
Yeah. How do you feel about your tattoos now? Do you love them?
They're a part of me.
Yeah. Okay.
You know, I don't know that necessarily like does the spirit that's coming out of the lotus encircled in fire mean the same thing to me as it did when I was 17? I don't know.
Yeah.
But you know what I do, like, and as being Hawaiian and being Polynesian, we tattoo our history of our life, right? Yeah. So these are moments in my life that really changed the direction of who I was, you know, or sometimes, you know, I have tattoos on my fingers, one for each of my kids, one for my husband when we got married. He has the same tattoos on his fingers.
Oh, wow.
You know, so there's something beautiful that, you know, the memory of, but if I were to redesign my body now, my tattoos would probably be different.
I as someone who also got a lot of tattoos, I did almost all of my tattoos in like an 8-year span.
Right, exactly.
And I thought I knew exactly what I was going to be like and look like in the future. Like it's so funny that I made all those decisions for myself, and then I'm like, you know what? I carry this sort of reflection of her, you know, she wanted me to be this person today. And it's interesting because it creates a different sort of relationship with how you're marking your own history on your body. I think that's really, that's really interesting.
Right. And also the idea that, you know, like maybe these ideas don't serve me anymore. Yeah. You know, like it's okay to like kind of like let go of things, and as you become a different person, you know, to allow new experiences. I mean, I still want tattoos, but now do I have the time? Probably not. Yeah. That's the reality.
And it's also like at that time, like it was easy for me. I'm like, I was, you know, a bartender at the time, and I was like, going out a lot, and I had cash around. Right. So I'm like, oh yeah, I could go get this tattoo and just like dump a bunch of cash on it. And now I'm like being very conservative about how I'm spending my money. And I'm like, I don't think that I want to put my money into putting more tattoos on me right now.
Right, exactly.
But I love that it is sort of like a mark of your life and like the things that you've been through. And so in your design, I'm curious whether you have certain things that maybe you used to do when you first got started that now you look back on and you're like, I wouldn't do that again. Right. But I do see that as being a part of your journey. Yeah. Do you have that when it comes to your design?
I think, well, a few years ago, I decided to become a sustainable designer. Okay. And so that has been the biggest change for me in my overall evolution is earlier in my career, you know, I worked with Richard Myers and Partners. I worked with a lot of Fosters and Partners out in London. We were working on really big projects. You know, actually, I was working here in Los Angeles. The piece of property that was the Robinson May building, I think it's going to be the Mon now.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I was working on that project. I was the senior interior designer on the project for many years. And like literally one day, all of a sudden we come in and the entire project has gone into default and the whole office has been fired. So it was like during that time, I was like, okay, well, what am I going to do? Right. And so, but that experience of working with the top budgets, you know, with the kings and queens and sheiks and princesses and all of the people that I had access to and the artisans that I had access to at the time was really eye-opening. Imagine coming from Hawaii.
Yeah.
That all of a sudden you're working with like the most beautiful fabrics and everything in the world, right? Like money is no object. And so I think in that's kind of where I started to understand what the technicality of making those kinds of experiences happen. And then I started looking around one day and I was like, wow, I'm creating so much waste. I am literally taking out kitchens just to take them out because, you know, somebody wants a different design. And so it really became a part of my kuleana, and that's a word in Hawaiian that means our duty or our responsibility to the community, to try to bring something new and different to the table, right? Because it's actually my goal, and it is deep in my heart that I'm a steward of this land, that my job here is to protect the nature, to protect the trees, to protect our water, to protect our land. So that way we have something for the next generation. And so through that, it was almost like I took the technical part of what I had that I had learned from my previous jobs, and I really started to revamp it. And it was with a lot of consideration that, you know, how do I build luxury design the way I've always done it, but now do it sustainably? And so, you know, a lot of it is also kind of coming back to what the framework of what does luxury mean?
Right.
You know, it's like, what do we describe as being luxurious in this day and age where getting something from across the world doesn't exactly mean exotic or expensive anymore?
Yeah.
Right. So these are kind of some of the things I play with on a daily basis of, like, you know, it's also about, you know, somewhat modifying behaviors, right? Consumerism is a huge thing right now in America. Like, to feel like you are equating your wealth or your what's the word? When you're equating your self-esteem and
Your
using
worth,
your worth to with objects, right? That we buy these objects to try to show other people who we are. And it's creating a lot of waste in our society. I mean, you know, you want to really talk about it. We are on a crash course where our earth really can't even sustain the way that we are producing at this time, right? We're at 1.7x right now, which means that we are producing almost 2 times. We need almost 2 times more resources than we have available to us on this earth. You know, so at that point, it was like I'm done. I can design something beautiful with drywall and a piece of limestone. Let that limestone come from Mexico and let that drywall be eco drywall, and I'm good.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
it's literally about replying what you're like, looking at your materiality and going, what can I do better? You know, and so that's been the biggest change for me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that this conversation has come up a lot
About
lately
sustainability,
about
yeah.
sustainability. And when we started the line of furniture, it was clear for us that we wanted to build the most sustainable way possible, and so that none of those pieces are going to be discarded. You know, they're going to be either resold or reupholstered, but we are very careful not to create landfill when we do anything, and so we don't. You know, we also don't. I mean, we still like her, but with, you know, the most sustainable place, and we don't metal or solid. But yeah, it's interesting because this is coming up a lot more, and I'm glad.
Yeah.
And I think it's about the return of the artisan, right?
Right.
Like,
Absolutely.
there's something in the mass production of goods that also we now find as being something that is not desirable, right? And then the return to the handmade good of where you can actually feel your maker and feel as they are, you know, smoothing your wood, or if they're attacking your upholstery. Like, those are the pieces that I think now make for something special, right? It's no longer that the good from Egypt, you know, like in the Victorian times, the farther away it was like, it was cool, right? It was like, wow, I've never seen this before. I need to have this because it's so far away. And now it's like, we need to find the people here and really kind of conserve and also protect the artisan and like the creative abilities of the people that can pass these kinds of trades down.
Exactly. Yeah.
You know, I love buying furniture from Europe because you know that it's like fourth, fifth generation of like, you know, the stone layer, you know, like it's just a different component because these trades are passed down from generation to generation. I think it's so beautiful.
But we have that here.
We do.
Especially in Southern California,
Yes, we
where
do.
we have craftsmen that have been doing it for a long time. I mean, our finishers, they've been doing it for collectively, you know, 110 years. It's fantastic. But it is the small business. It's interesting because I don't even know, like in France, we have a way to learn how to be, you know,
Like a trade school.
a trade school.
Right.
And that applies to, you know, obviously every field, like, you know, be it carpentry or restaurants or, you know, baker or plumber. I mean, it's, you know, you name it. And those people tend to go work with, you know, they're an older gentleman and carry that on. And here we don't really have that. And it'll be interesting to see if that, with, you know, the changes in AI and blah, 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 if that doesn't come back more important.
Right.
In the sense that we will need, you know, those jobs.
I think that's kind of exactly where it feels like it's heading, and the idea of having something, a trade that is passed down over time. I feel like a lot of people are starting to get burnt out on like, we can't all be social media content creators. Like we can't. Somebody has to make our stuff.
Make something.
And also, you know, and also it feels so, there's so much of a physical payoff when you create something yourself with your hands.
Oh, totally.
And it also feels like it is an art, and it is an expression, and it is a specific skill, and it's a technicality, and there's so much that goes into that feels so much more like valuable than just like, cool, my video got 4 million views or whatever. Like there's a real payoff, and it's something that can last forever, and it's intended to last forever. We have talked a little bit about like fast furniture and sort of trends in design, but I'm curious if there's anything like trend wise that you see right now that you're like, actually, I want that to sort of take off. Do you have anything that you've noticed lately?
I'm not really a trend person. So for me, you know, I actually try to do something very different, which is not specify product.
Oh, wait. Okay. Tell me more about that. Explain it. Yeah.
So I try to actually build everything from raw materials on my projects. So I'm not buying tile, I'm making tile. I'm not like, and it just kind of changes the entire conversation, right? Because now flexibility and availability are just up to your creativity and how far you can walk on your legs. Right? It's only like, what can I find and where can I find it and how can I use it? Right? So for me, it's a little bit different. So I'm trying not, I put on my blinders. So I'm trying not to see trend. I'm trying to actually see timeless. And I think that it's a little bit, for me, I try to also stop my clients from also looking at pieces as being, or like from more trendy collections, right? Because I know that there's also a date to them, right? In Orange County, we had this amazing influx of like modern farmhouse.
Oh,
right? Like every single house along the coast was black and white modern farmhouse, right? But it actually stamps an era on the house,
does.
right?
It
So
really
like,
does.
so that it becomes a reflection of like, hey, like this is the time that I bought this. This is the time that I remember, right? So, and to be fair, I think pieces in your home should be reflective of the time and era that, you know, like I look around this place and there are so many beautiful pieces that I'm sure have been a collection of a lifetime, right? That you see. And that to me feels richer in purpose, right? That the idea that, or like the meaning of things becomes purposeful and like select, right? And that design doesn't have to also happen all at once, right? So a lot of times we will take our time to furnish homes, find the right pieces versus having everything being, you know, ready to go on day one. A lot of it will be ready to go on day one.
Yeah.
Right.
But the art pieces, the pieces that actually express their personality, I try to find things that really feel more like them.
Yeah, and that reflection of your clients' personalities in their homes. Do you encourage them to sort of do their own collection of like things and like objects and art that you are able to put
I try
out
to curate
there?
for them.
Yeah.
But at the same time, I'm really trying to make sure that they feel a personal relationship with everything in their home. And also, I'm a minimalist. I have to say, I know that it's not popular to be a minimalist, but I'm also a minimalist even in my own behaviors in life. So for me, having less feels simpler, right? And so that's where I try to go back to, is like this idea of simplicity. And it's like every single day I'm trying to work within ideas of like, I'll give you a perfect example. I have an iPhone 13.
Amazing.
and my kids and my husband are dying because I won't update it. And for me, it's this idea almost as if like, why do I need to replace something that's working?
Yeah.
Right? Like, it's abandoning those ideas of consumerism about I have to have the latest and greatest, right? Like, I'm okay. If it works, I'm cool. So, I don't know. I kind of work somewhere into all of this of like, needing what you need, taking away what you don't, and living a beautiful life the way that you have chosen.
Yeah.
Right? So.
I love that. I had my 13 mini until I think it was like July. I smashed it at the gym, unfortunately. And so I needed to get a new one. And when I said, like, do you make these anymore? They were like, no, we don't. No, you have to get a 16.
Right.
Which is unfortunate because I loved having a small phone. It was so lovely. But anyway, I totally feel you on that. And like, if something is working and if it's like, what is the point of buying something that's like brand new if it instead could be like, even with a piece of furniture that like if it's really well made, rather than like replacing it, why not just reupholster it?
Absolutely.
Or like do the repairs that you need to. Yeah. And because those pieces tell a story,
Absolutely.
And your home tells a story too.
It does.
And since you said that you've been doing some remodels lately, have you been doing remodels of people's homes that like they've lived in it for a long time and they want to like upgrade it? Or is it mostly like they're moving into a new place and want to...
I think both, but most of them are, probably purchases during COVID and then realizing like, okay, what I'm now going to be here. So what am I going to do with the space? We're getting a lot of those. Okay. So it is a little bit of both. And I find it's kind of fun to do a remodel in a way because it's not like you have a fully open canvas, right? It's limited within its parameters of whatever you can do within the structure. So in that way, it's a little bit more challenging. And I find like all of design to me is kind of a game. It's like a puzzle in my head. So I'm constantly trying to figure out the puzzle pieces. And I really always try to go back to like, what was the original architect trying to say with the statement of this home? What was their statement that I can bring through the interiors? Because I feel like that is the job of the interior designer, right? We are taking both the architect and also the client and finding the user interface between the two, right? It's in a way like it's everything that you touch, it's everything that you put your hand on, it's everything that you're going to use to operate the house. So what is that experience like to the homeowner? And so I try to like pick out the bones of what I think the architect was saying and then take those same ideas and then express them on the interiors. So it's fun. I think it's like right now I'm working on a house in Laguna and it's Richie Sambora and Heather Locklear's old house.
No way! Oh my gosh!
If that house could speak, right? Like, like I keep thinking about that. Like what was their intention with this deck? What was the intention with this? And so it's like I feel like I'm walking through the history of their life through the design of the space, which is also kind of an interesting part. Yeah. So.
Wow, that's really fun.
Yeah.
That's really fun. Have you worked with, and you don't have to drop any names by any means, but have you worked with any sort of like big personalities or like celebrity clients, and like when you're working with them, you sort of have to like put aside what you like, getting to really know them and really working in their home? Like, has that been a transition for you, or what is that process like?
I think that I do have a couple of pretty well-known celebrities that I've been working with lately, and challenging. It's challenging because their schedules are very busy, and their attention spans are probably a little bit all over the place, and they're making decisions at split moments. So, but ultimately, I'm trying to still synthesize, trying to understand and give them the best product possible, you know. So it's kind of it's a fun and chaotic time, you know.
Yeah.
Like, no matter what, everything is not fast enough. You know?
That's what needs to change too. You know, we went from the birth of Amazon, and suddenly the shit was delivered in 2 hours, and
Right.
and no, it takes a little bit of time.
Yeah.
We can't all get stuff made, in 24 hours. This is not realistic. But I think that's something that we need to reinstill in, the value of time and the value, because we have that issue. People will call me and be like, "Can you do it in 3 days?" And I'm like, No. I mean, it's just not.
Right.
It's like I need to.
No matter how much money you give me, it's physically impossible.
It's physically impossible, and it's. I think that the teaching and the education that we need to do with our client, that and no one's gonna die too. I mean, it's like if you have to wait for 3 extra weeks for your chair, your sofa, your light, you're gonna be fine. You won't even notice it.
Right. Exactly.
Because you're so busy that 3 weeks is gonna feel like 3 hours, and the thing is gonna be hanging, and you're gonna be like, "That's great." So. Please don't get mad.
Right.
Please take a breather.
Yeah.
We're not doing it to piss you off. We're doing it because it takes time.
Yeah, and you want it to be perfect.
Right.
Like that's why it's like I sometimes I let my spaces breathe, and sometimes I like come back to it again and again and see what is really needed in the space. Because again, I want perfect pieces. Like when you can see something, you go, man, that looks great there. It's exactly what I had in mind, versus just filling it for a time being because it was what was available. It's like it just seems like such a shame sometimes.
Have you had some clients that like had an expectation that this is something that, it's going to be like 6 weeks from, or like starting a project like, this will be really easy. It shouldn't take that long. And what is that conversation like when you have to tell them like, actually, this does take a while?
Yeah, I'm working on that right now. I'll let you know in a few weeks.
Yeah, just update us. We'll do the update. So Summer is
spoiler alert.
spoiler alert. And what's your? So I am a big supporter of artists. Like when it's contemporary, I like to know them. When it's vintage, obviously,
it's harder.
It's harder.
Yeah.
But how do you feel about that for you? Is it something that you push your clients to go collect things they know, or?
I would love. Yeah, I always do. I mean, I think that it's about finding their voice. That's where I feel like in terms of collection, that to really, again, somewhat like tattoos, art is the collection of their lifetime of memories and things like that. So it's also about how to be poignant with their collections and really be able to find the pieces that may have longevity also, as they start to collect forward.
Right.
Because I think that, it's, again, had I known the tattoos and, maybe I would have chosen something different, but they are now a collection and they're a part of me, just as much as the collection will grow with the client. I always leave spaces for art, but ultimately I kind of designed for the space to feel like art. So it's like, it's a little bit interesting. Cool. Yeah. So it's like, I kind of almost think of myself as like a sculptor, and I'm definitely probably more of an interior architect than I am a designer, definitely than anything else. So like, I kind of sculpt with material in space too, 3-dimensionally, and kind of with light. I also do all of my own lighting design. So I'm actually lighting the finishes, the textures, the architecture, the shadow and light that you see in my pictures are actually because I'm specifically trying to do certain things with the space.
Wow.
Yeah. So.
Wow. Okay, that's amazing. I mean, the way that you talk about like how you're creating everything, you're really going down to each little detail and really putting your like an imprint of you on it. And I really love that. And that's something that some designers feel more comfortable like having, relationships with like other like furniture designers and lighting designers and, these other craftspeople. But I love that your relationship is like directly with the maker. Like you're like, I want it to look exactly like this.
Yeah. Well, and you look back at Carlos Scarpa, right? He designed every hinge, every single door detail. Like that's a lot of what I try to do. Like I'm not technically designing the hinges, but I design cabinetry hardware, all specifically for an actual project so that they have like their own capsule, right? So like and sometimes it's even like really tricky details. I mean, we're doing stone clad doors that disappear into walls and like we just fully like, you know, I get very tricky even though I do sustainable design. We do, you know, crazy theaters and like all kinds of like, you know, hidden passages and all kinds of stuff like that, you know, because I think it should be fun too, right? Like sustainability, that's the thing. It's like just because you're designing with sustainable products doesn't mean that you're putting anything less into a home.
Right.
It's just re-engineering it in your head to put value where it's going to last. Right. So like I still put in all the cool stuff, you know, it's just now it's maybe I have a keypad and now I just want it to be two simple functions, but yet I'm going to dress the entire space with light differently with just 2 button pushes. Right. So it's like I'm getting rid of all of the necessity of the 8 buttons on the wall, getting rid of all of the sensors, getting rid of all of that. So that way what you're seeing is super simple and clean and beautiful and just really inspired by space. Right, you know, so
that's great. I was on your website. You talk a lot about it's the simplicity and opulence.
Yeah.
And I think that what you just described is exactly that, where you can use sustainable materials and you can let things be so intentional that it gets to be simple. And there is an opulence in that this is already taken care of. That as you live in your home, you know that all of the details have been handled.
Absolutely. I think a lot of, you know, like if my client every day wants to sit and read his emails as the sun rises, right? I think of how to craft that moment for them. That's luxury to me, right? It's the experiential luxury that someone else has planned for these moments to occur in your life. Right? You look at the old architects of the Greek days, like they purposely led roads so that you had something to see at the end of them, right? They were planning the way we lived our lives. And I think that that's a really critical part of design, like to really embrace, because we are affecting every moment of that person's life, whether we want to or not. And a lot of times we can actually redirect them to also see what we want them to see, right? So that's where some of my biophilic design inspiration comes from, is that I can actually direct with design how people embrace nature. Right. And how cool is that to like bring them full circle to this idea that like I'm going to now interact with my natural and surrounding areas in a very personal way every single day, so that I see the flowers bloom at different seasons. I smell what I'm smelling, you know, as it comes through the window. Those, I think, are the real touches that make design what it should be. You know, so.
Yeah. You touched a little bit on there on landscape design as well. Do you sort of,
I dabble.
You dabble.
I inspire more than I dabble. Let's put it that way. Like I literally, I'm from Hawaii, so like nothing in Southern California makes sense to my plant brain. You know, like I know my tropicals and that's about it, you know. So when you move me past that into like any kind of desert species, I'm like, this looks beautiful. I have no idea what it's called, but you know, that's where you rely on design landscapers.
Yeah, exactly.
Architects.
Oh, that's great. That's great. Okay. Sorry, did you have something?
No, we have one, our podcast from, when is it, 2 weeks ago?
From 2 weeks ago. Yeah. I mean, when this comes out, it will have been maybe a month, but we had Thomas Deal.
Listen to him. He's fantastic.
The way that he talks about landscape design is, I mean, it changed the way that I consider an outdoor space, like top to bottom. It's really fascinating.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Really cool, and it's someone that you should meet. He's
someone you
very
should meet,
neat.
for sure.
You'll love him because the way he talks about it is absolutely fantastic. But when you were talking and you were like, you know, creating the moment of the email with the sun, you know, for me it's like I have to redo my bedroom because I need coffee in bed. So I need to create the perfect moment. My nightstand is to just you inspired me. There's something there.
Papa San chair with your coffee cup perfectly placed. You have that outlet where he can charge you. You know, it's that, right? It's like we want the conveniences, you know, but we don't need every convenience.
Yes,
right?
Exactly.
Like you don't need every button on the wall, right? You don't need every single room in that 25,000 square foot house, right? That is, I think, where it becomes a kind of practicality, right? It's like we in Hawaii we have this beautiful way of being where when you're making a lei, right? You know, your flower lilies. You go from plant to plant and you just pick a few blossoms off of each plant, right? Because if you pick all of the flowers off of one, it'll kill the plant, right? And so it's this like very selective, like I take what I need in order to let the earth survive, right? So I'm going to take what I need in order to feel like I have that I provided for, but you don't need more. And so it's a struggle every single day. I mean, I am constantly, even in my own life, like really trying to like face my own demons of what is it that, what is related to my ego that I can shed, right? What consumerism can I get rid of in my own life to like, do I need a new car? I mean, it'd be nice to have, you know, but do I really need it?
Yeah.
I don't know. Like maybe it's okay to have familiarity, right? Maybe it's okay to forego some of those kinds of ideas of like being caught up in whatever is next and whatever is new. I don't know.
I mean,
That's my ideas.
totally,
Yeah.
you know, I've owned 3 cars in my life.
Well, then
And
you
I
are the
still
example.
wish, and I still wish I had my first one. But yeah, I don't. All that technology thing is just. I mean, I have plenty, but yeah, until it breaks, I'm like,
Right.
this thing is fine.
Right. Yeah.
And cell phones was the same thing. I mean, I had my first, was it that Nokia thing? I mean, I threw it out
The
when
brick.
people were like, we can't hear you. I mean, it's like, it was like, there's just throw the fucking thing away and go buy a new one. I was like, but okay. So I hear you. Do you think it's, this mentality is, so for example, for me, I know that part of me is I come from Cannes. It's a beautiful, you know, it's a beautiful region. We're doing, actually, Mayor of Cannes is doing a ton to try to preserve the coast because it is in jeopardy and it's just magical. I mean, you know, being out there. Do you think that part of that philosophy comes from where you grew up?
Yeah, for sure. You know, I think that growing up in Hawaii, you have such an appreciation because you're in constant contact with nature. Like, you can't protect something until you love it. Right. So, like, I think that that's really what fostered that idea. And I think that, for me personally, I want to have some place that my children can have children in. You know, and so every single time that I pick up my water bottle, I go, dang, this water bottle is going to be here for 450 years just so that I had the convenience to take it from my car to my house. Right. Like, so some of those things are like, they're more philosophical for me than anything else, you know? So, but I really try to examine every single part of my life to see where I don't need as much, you know? So.
Have you worked on projects in Hawaii?
You know, I haven't.
Oh my gosh.
I know.
Okay,
It sounds
let's make that
crazy.
happen. If you're listening to this right now and
you have
you
a
live in
house.
Hawaii,
Yeah.
Yeah, there you
yes,
go. There you
yes.
I
go.
think that's-
Hire Summer.
Yeah.
I feel like, I mean, I would love to see what you would do with a home there because you have everything that you love. It's like, this is what you're most familiar with. It's sort of when, like, you have the opportunity to take all of the tools, everything that you've learned, and also everything that you love and put it into one big project. I'd love to see that.
I know.
I'd love to see that.
Well, I do have a pet project that I'm working on in the background. It's not any time that you'll see in magazines, but it is actually, like, I feel like what my life work will be about.
Really?
Yeah, I've tried to come up with this synthesis of like everything that I think would be perfect, you know, and really I think a lot of, for me, is about returning to a smaller, simpler life where you have opportunity in your home and in your surrounding areas to be dependent upon the land again. So a lot of like development ideas, obviously fully sustainable with metrics, net zero, you know, all of the closed loop, you know, kind of environments that you want to have, but then also including food equity into it, you know, so that way the property itself that you're actually not only being able to feed yourself and your family, but also that you're even able to extend outward and to be able to have enough to be able to help the communities around you.
Wow.
So I think that there's a lot of things, you know, and it's like, you know, we have an aging population. We need to figure out ways that, like, you know, in my culture and in Asian cultures, you know, we take care, we honor our elders. They are a source of wisdom for us. They're
See?
That is amazing. Thank you.
no, you know, so it's like, how do we incorporate that wisdom? How can we still bring people that, you know, that into our fold again, right? Like, not lose that wisdom, because also that's part of it too, is that like, you know, that we're not people that can just be thrown away, right? But it's also kind of this like kind of throwaway culture that we're kind of creating, or we have created. So time to kind of return back.
I really love that.
I mean, you do that with me all the. I've learned so much from you just working with you and working on this podcast and the people that you've known. And I will say that is something that's really interesting about continuing to like work with people and get to know people and getting to know their experiences, is that you learn so much. There is so much that I like. The first time that I walked in here, I didn't know anything. And I didn't realize it until I started learning more, you know? And I think that I really love the way that you articulated that too, which is that, you know, we tend to throw away things when we're done with them, you know, and because we have such a culture that's based on what's new and what's fresh, that also has to do with like the young new face and like the young new people. And then as soon as, you know, people are beginning to age or maybe don't have the new tech experience, they still have experience with something. They still know things that like we can really, really learn from. And, that value and that importance is, I mean, it's,
So that's my little utopia.
Oh,
That's what I'm
That's
working
awesome.
at.
Just go for that utopia. We will support it all the way.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I think
if
it
there
could be
is
super
any way
cool.
that we can support it, I'm more than happy to do so. Yeah.
Thank you. And obviously it would be super cool because it would be built in the side of a mountain and, you know, have all of the tricky things that I do too. So
Oh my gosh, I love it.
yeah, no.
That's amazing. Okay, so there are 3 questions that I ask all of our guests. And so we're going to get into it. I think you know what they are too, because you're a listener. So first question is, what is the messiest place in your home?
Messiest place in my home is definitely my dining room.
Really?
It becomes the kind of like everyone puts their stuff there, you know, so
Right.
it's the hodgepodge of my kids, the backpacks, the everything all on a dining table all at once. So.
But that's great. That's like the family life.
That is the family life, you know. It's like I just take off one hat, put on another one, and then we just kind of keep going in this circle, you know.
Yeah. How many kids do you have?
I have 2.
2.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
How old are they?
14 and 10. I have a daughter and a son. So
wow.
yeah, I know.
And doing all of the work that you do and also being a full-time mom, you know, that's something that I really admire.
Yeah.
And that takes a lot of balance.
It is. Yeah. The only way I've found how to make my life work is by waking up at like 3:00 in the morning. So that is that's my secret. I'm putting it out there.
You wake up at
I start working at 3. Yeah, usually around 3:30.
When do you go to sleep?
Like 8:30.
Okay.
8:00, somewhere like that. You know,
Wow. Wow. That's really impressive.
Yeah, it's the only way that I can actually get in a full day of work before having to put on my next
Right.
hat. So it's like you find time and you balance. And thank goodness my kids are a little bit older now.
Right.
If I had tried to do that when I was nursing, I mean, I probably would have actually been the same. So I don't know.
Wow.
You would have started at 3:00 in the morning. It's just like something was latched on.
Right, exactly. So,
Oh my gosh. Okay. But dining room, messiest place in your home.
Yes.
I'm not like, I'm just going to say, this is going to be in my brain all day that you wake up at 3:00 in the morning. I'm not going to stop thinking about that.
try it. Honestly, you know what I found is I actually found that I'm most creative between 5 a.m. and 7 a.m.
Really?
It seems like that's when my download happens, you know, so it's like if I can catch it at the right time, it is just the most magical hour of just whether I'm drawing or whether I'm creating or sourcing or whatever it is. It just feels like that's my energetic time to really put in a lot of work before then the emails start, you know.
Right.
So,
Wow.
I mean, I think that's so important. And obviously, things have changed. I'm starting to get up a little later, but waking up at 5:30, it was nice because it's the emails and the phone calls are not coming, and you can ignore whichever is coming from the East Coast. You can still ignore it. Like, it was 6:00 in the morning, and it does give you time to be a little creative.
it's beautiful to see the sunrise, right? There's very magical things like the birds that are out in the morning, like wee early, like I talk to my owls outside.
Oh my gosh.
You know, like,
yeah. I love owls.
yeah, you know, so
Wow.
like there's, and you hear the different bird songs that happen as the morning kind of wakes up. So you can kind of like track the day, but it feels more in tune maybe with what nature actually has to offer. Like if I have an idea in my head, I don't let it just sit and like try to go back to sleep. I just wake up and I venture and I do it. You know, and then when I'm tired, I go back to bed.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, why not?
Oh my gosh, I love this. Okay, maybe I will give that a try. I don't know when.
Start maybe like at 5:30.
Yeah, it's like everything. It's like everything else.
Yeah.
Just a little bit. Yeah,
taste,
let's
just a little
not
taste.
jump to.
I mean, let's listen. Within the past like 2 years, my wake up time is now 7:30 a.m.
That's good.
And for a long time, it was like 9. I was like,
Yeah.
I was sleeping in for the whole morning. But
Yeah.
the 2 hours, I've like gotten more comfortable with 7:30.
Yeah.
It's been fine.
It's a
Yeah.
progression.
Yeah.
I didn't start at 3:30. It like keeps kind of backing up.
Yeah. Wow. Okay. My second question for you is, when you walk into a new space, what is the first thing that you notice?
The architecture.
Okay.
Yeah, architecture and light. And my eye has this funny ability to go to like problem areas. I'm sure every designer has this, you know, but it's like you kind of see space and you go, what is it that's bothering my eye that I can't keep looking over, right?
Yeah.
Is it a color? Is it a alignment issue? Is it, you know, so when I first walk into a space, I need to fix everything. I have to fix it, otherwise it drives me crazy.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
know? So it's like if a finish isn't working in the palette, I have to change it, you know. So
Wow.
it's like
Yeah. Okay. My last question for you. What is your favorite space, either in your home or in a home that you've designed?
I think I love challenging spaces. I love technical spaces, things that have like complex geometry or like staircases, you know, like things that are hard to do. You know, hard to get right, hard to make all the components come together. I think that those tend to be my favorites. So maybe the staircase, maybe the stair entry hall, right? That first moment that really kind of like wows you and kind of takes your breath away. I love that moment, you know, so.
Oh, wow. I feel like with staircases, we've had a few different guests that have like really like sort of hyper fixated on specifically that part of the house. And it is so important. It's, I mean,
And so difficult,
So difficult.
especially either in a remodel or in.
Yeah.
I mean, actually, Kevin, we were talking to Chris Court, and he helped Kevin Kalanowski, and their staircase was challenging and turned out really nice.
Turned out beautiful.
Yeah.
But yeah, that was a challenge.
Yeah, but they can have so much character.
They can. And what people I think don't realize about stairs or about hallways in general is that it's one of the spaces that you're actually experiencing light and shadow with movement, right? So you're actually, the idea that you're actually seeing it from different angles and seeing it as you kind of traverse up, or that you're walking down, or that you're looking by, you know, these are all moments that actually change throughout the day. So they offer different points of view, you know, and so like to actually take that into consideration of like how this changes throughout the day is also really fun
Right.
too.
That's important.
Wow. Okay. So do you have like a project that we should be looking out for? Are you getting published somewhere that we should be looking out for? Is there anything that we should tell people to keep an eye on for now?
Always fun things coming out.
Yeah.
Right now I'm finishing up, like I said, this Richie Sembor and Heather Locklear remodel project. They don't live there anymore.
Yeah.
But it was their
Right.
old house. But really excited about that one. Again, kind of not only sustainable, but also the return of the artisan in that one for sure. I was inspired, the name of the house is Sol y Luna. So inspired by the sun and moon in this house and the ideas of eclipse. And so I think very esoterically, as you can tell. So I'm abstracting a lot of ideas here.
No, I love it. I love this. I like my first language is poetry. Like I write poetry. I went to school for that. Like that was my thing. And so like when someone can take the poetic meaning of a home and then use it to create like a visual and like sensory experience, I have so much respect for
What's
that.
interesting with this podcast is that several times you're like, you know, I'm a very technical designer.
Right.
And I'm like, you're a very technical designer, but you're such a spiritual woman that I'm like, the two together has got to be interesting because the little that we met and, you know, we've talked, it's very,
It's my
you know,
Libra balance.
it's
my
yeah.
Libra plus.
Yes.
You know,
It's really fun.
Exactly.
It's fun to listen to you
yeah.
with the conversations we've had in the past because I'm like, wow, there's a There's a balance there at 3:30 in the morning.
I know. It's like I don't know how else to be though, because I feel like so I'll have to tell you this is like when I was in high school, didn't take a single art class, never thought of myself as being artistic besides dance, obviously. But I was a political science major. I thought I was going to become an attorney. I was very much not in this world, right? And the secret for me was actually learning how to draw on a computer. Because my hand wasn't so good. But once I found something that could be as perfect as what I saw in my head, it was almost as if this whole world had kind of opened up for me. So the idea that I didn't have to necessarily be able to draw a symmetrical room was okay, because all I had to do was mirror it in AutoCAD, right?
Yeah.
Like there's tools that actually I think that are helping us to be able to kind of get our ideas on paper. And I think that's the most important part of like where we're going with technology and, different kinds of software and things, is that at the end of the day, it should just be a tool of your own expression, and don't let the tool overtake what that expression is. That's the difference, right? Is that like, if we can use our tools to kind of put our own voice down on paper, how beautiful is that? Because it could be the difference of being able to get past your roadblocks, right? So my roadblock was that I didn't like the way I drew, right? But then all of a sudden I had this tool to be able to give me this opportunity, and all of a sudden I was like, hey, I can do this. So it's been a really interesting journey in that way.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, I'll have to come. You guys will have to come and by and see a project. And
I really want to. Yes,
We
definitely,
would love to.
definitely.
I mean, the day we spent I don't come down to the South Bay that much, but it was really fun.
It was really fun.
Oh my gosh.
It's a beautiful place.
Oh my gosh, it's so inspiring, and like in the mornings you can come in and you can see like the fog roll through the mountains and Laguna Canyon.
Yeah.
It feels like a very magical way to start a day.
Right.
So,
I can imagine. Yeah, here it's a little different. I wake up, you have the howl, and I have 1,000 crows that live literally. I mean,
Thousands of
it's
crows
probably
live
thousands
right
of crows
Wow.
that live around these blocks. So at 5:30 in the morning, the mayhem outside
Right.
is not like, oh, little birdie is talking. It's like those things are just
Does it
loud.
sound like a crowd of like?
It sounds yeah.
People
But so
yelling,
the being in the South Bay, different experience of
Yeah.
Southern California.
Yeah, I've removed myself. I mean, we were here for so many years in LA, and but I felt like for me, again, I try to I want to drown out some of the noise in my life, so that way I can create more intently, and I think without any hindrance or again, putting on the blinders and just kind of do what I feel and from my spirit and from my heart, what I think is right. Because and even as I've grown up, a lot of times, what does it take to be a great designer? It takes actually a voice.
Right.
How are we using our voice? So my voice now has changed into something where I include the environment and everything that I do, but it is still, how do you get to the voice, right? In those decision makings and all those different little moments that you have to choose between one way or the other, and so it's I just find that so intriguing.
Yeah. Oh wow, Summer, it's been an absolute pleasure to have you here.
And thank you so much.
And to get to know you more, because we've met, and it was and I just knew that you were really cool, and I looked at your work and I'm like, oh, she does great work, but getting to hear how much soul and spirit and also technicality and how much intention you put into your work, it's really, really admirable.
Thank you.
And yeah, it's been just a pleasure to talk with you.
I love you guys, and I'm so excited to keep watching, and really it was a beautiful moment to have you guys at the party and continue the relationship, and all the best to you guys.
Yeah,
Oh,
that's
thank
to
you
you
so
too.
much.
To you too.
Same.
So we will post all of your socials on
Awesome.
our show notes, and
Hey.
people will
But
find you and
what's
follow
your
you.
Instagram?
Yeah, it's Hawk and Co.
Okay.
Yeah, very
Great.
simple. All
Very
spelled out.
simple. Cool.
Great. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Take care.
Clutter Bravado is filmed on location at the Kimberly Denman Showroom in Los Angeles, California. For inquiries about our furniture, a directory of our guests, or just to reach out with questions or comments, email us at clutterbravado@gmail.com. And don't forget to follow us on Instagram at Clutter Bravado.